What's up, fellow card fighters? Today is another beautiful day of doing some deck profile. Today, with the recent release of Generation Dragenesis booster set, we're gonna do Chronojet Deck profile. I know a lot of you guys has been asking about it, so I've been kind of lazy. But without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first off, we're gonna do the ride line. We're gonna start with the Chronojet, Mesa Gear, the Smoke Gear Dragon, and last but not least, Chronojet. It's pretty simple. Dran, you have to have this whole combination with the restriction of ride line if you want to get the crest. So once you have Dran, you go into Mesa Gear. Upon riding to Mesa Gear, you get a crest, you get an energy generator, and you draw an extra card. Smoke Gear, when you ride into him, there's nothing that happens. But when you ride into your grade 3 Chronojet, you get to Soul Blast 1, look for your deck for a grade 3, so you can use it as a stride fodder. Guaranteed stride fodder. In your stride deck, you're gonna be using 4 next stage, 4 Fate Riders, 4 of the new Chronos Command Dragon. But in reality, if you wanna trick your opponent and play mind games and you wanna gut down the deck into, whatchamacallit, 8 cards in the G zone, theoretically, you probably could do like 1 or 2 Fate Riders, 2 commands, or you can do 2 Fate Riders, 2 next stages, and 4 commands. Next stages is essentially your finisher. Your starter will be your Fate Rider, and your mid-game engine could be either any of the 3. But Chronos Command, it's locked behind GB3 skill. So we've done Fate Rider, we've done next stage. Pretty much next stage, after you attack with it, counterblast 1, discard 2 cards from your hand, re-ride into your Chronojet from heart, and pretty much you can attack with Chronojet. Fate Rider, upon attacking, counterblast 1, flip a card in the G zone face up, which you would target Chronos Command. So choose 1 unit on board and put it to the deck, and look for a +1 grade unit from that said unit, and time leap it. Chronos Command essentially will be X skill during main phase, counterblast 1, give send opponent's rear guards in any order to the bottom of the deck, then choose to give one of your rear guards a red text. Red text pretty much stating after the end of that battle, you can put that unit to the bottom of the deck, call a unit from the deck that is +1 grade of the said unit, and that unit also gains 5k for every face-up card in the G zone that has a name of Chronos Command. So ideally, you'll probably get 5k plus because you flipped 1 with Fate Rider. So in the main deck, you got, let's go with grade 3s first. 2 copies of Chronojet, so you can hit different kind of, so you can hit next stage at one point or another. Personally, I'm running currently 2 copies of the Order called the Footprints of Time, which kind of helps you if you get damage denied or if you don't have counterblast, you can stride with this, which lets you you choose one of your Vanguard's ability and you reduce the counterblast cost by 1, or you can use this as an order, counterblast 1, choose a unit on board or from soul, send it to the deck, and call 1 unit out with 1 grade higher and reduce the GB cost ability. So you can use this to target any of your grade 2s like Upstream Dragon, you can target Glimmer Breath, you can target a whole bunch of stuff. Then I run 2 copies of the Nocturicio, which is like another great straight fodder, or if you want to on board, you can counterblast to put 2 cards from the soul, from the drop into the soul, and you also draw. And last but not least, I play 1 copy of Bali. Bali essentially is there for the Chronos Command combo. After I use my grade 2, I can get a grade 3 for the extra power because it's a 23k beat stick, not including the crest ability. With the crest ability, more often than not, it's always 33k plus. Now we'll go into the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2, one of the key pieces in the deck, in my opinion, is still the Upstream Dragon. That's like your staple from since day of release. 3 copies of Tiskar, then 2 copies of Glimmer Breath, 2 copies of Invertis or Revertis, the hybrid card, and then 1 copy of the Goat, the Aperture Leaping Great Gear Goat, and 1 copy of Twincast. Twincast is super important because sometimes with this deck you lack defense with the current meta. So the fact that you can guard from hand and you can also use it from the drop zone is kind of pretty good. Goat is there so then I can, after attacking, I can Energy Blast 3 and target anything on the bind zone or on field and send it to the bottom with this card, and I draw a card. So if, against matchups that binds cards, I can get key pieces back into the deck, or if I notice my deck is thinning out and I need like the grade 3 Bally or something into the deck, I can put a trigger onto the rear. I can shuffle that with it, so it lets me pretty much recycle a trigger essentially. Invertus is there for grade 2 gaming, so you can use it to soul charge, you can do it to call a unit from the soul, you can also use it to retire opponent's rear guard. Glimmer Breath is a new card. Right now I'm running 2 of, it's just the finisher, but in theory you could take one out and put another Revertus, or you can put another copy of the goat. But essentially, upon calling Counterblast 1, if you have a crest of the Chronojet, you can draw a card. GB3 it gains additional 10k, so it's like a mid to end game power column or power unit and or grade 2 stall out for draw. And I mean, Tiskar, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, you kind of need it. Upstream Dragon, after it attacks, you can send it to the bottom of the deck, you call out a unit, grade 1 unit to the back row. So, interesting combo you can do. Not sure, I've brought it up to the Facebook group and Reddit, just in case people didn't know. You can target with Chronos Command to upstream. So if you do since it's after you attack with upstream, both skills simultaneously proc, so you could choose whichever you want to go with. As long as you use upstream skill first, you can send this to the bottom deck, call it grade 1, then at the same time this skill will, of the Chronos Command that gave the red text will still proc, so you can target a grade 3 out onto the board, giving you that a grade 3 and a grade 1 for the cost of 1 counterblast with upstream. So keep that in mind for end game turns. So we talked a lot of shit in grade 2s, it's only fair we go on to grade 1s. For the grade 1s, I run 4 copies of Folklore, I run 3 copies of Clockwise, 2 copies of Gigi, 1 copy of the Hello Kitty aka Amethyst, and then of course Elementaria, this version because that's the only one you could play because you're running Crest, and then 3 copies of regular PG. So PG and Elementaria are self-explanatory, but just keep in mind this is the only version you can play. Amethyst is there for a guard value or also counter charge, because you're gonna soul blast your grade 0, 1, and 2 anyways. It's gonna be in the drop zone most of the time, so this is good for a guard for 20k value or counter charging. GG's there because you generally you want to target it with Upstream Dragon, or early game if you have it you can call it to soul blast 2 to draw a card for hand advantage. Clockwise is there so you can recycle your Stride Fighters. Essentially, when this is in the drop zone or rear, you can, when you discard a card during your turn, you can Energy Blast 3 and remove this card from play, and you can bounce that card back to your hand. Now, Folklore is broken. Right now, because we don't have that one grade 1 fairy that pretty much does what Shenri does. This is one of the key cards that keeps you drawing like crazy. So as long as you have Energy Blasted 3 or more, which includes Energy Generator skill, you can, at the end of the battle this unit boosted, you can retire it and you can draw a card. Also, when you play this card from hand, you get to Energy Charge 1. So it's a very good way to Energy Charge and draw consistently. Alright. Last but not least, the trigger lineup. We run the purple because it's a free fucking heal and you get to give an additional attack with the rear. 3 fronts. Of course, you run 8 crits because crit life, baby. If you want to be like Chrono, you gotta run crits, baby. And then last but not least, 4 generic heals. You can use effect heals if you want, but I notice now with the current meta, the extra 5k is more consistent all across the board because there's so many variables. For time being, I think 4 generic heals is best. If you really wanted to, you could opt out one of the generic heals, put the 3 generic, and put the 4th one probably for the restander, because there's a lot of restanding units happening right now. And that's about it. I know that some people might ask about the new fronts. I would not run the new fronts because this deck does not require much soul and it is not worth it. The extra 5k is definitely more worth it in terms of this deck. Now if you're running Messiahs, that's a different story. But that's about it today, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video of me speaking nonsense about my little Chronojet number 4 right here, and you know, my fanboy over here. So if you guys enjoyed the video or learned something from it, please consider hitting that like, subscribe and comment below if you're a fan of Chronojet. And I'll put up some videos later on with this gameplay. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.